What a relief. Oh, I was so grateful when we scored that first goal. And I knew that maybe from then we would carry on and dominate the game. 4-1, fantastic result, but still some issues that I really want to talk about. And one of them being defensively, again, no clean sheet, very poor defensively. In a few occasions during this game, Fulham could have easily scored 2, 3, maybe even 4 goals. If they were a top 10 side or a top 5 side, we may have conceded 2 or 3. So, yeah, definitely something we really need to work on is defensively. But most importantly, guys, we got the win today, and that will give us some more confidence, which we definitely need. We didn't look confident when the game kicked off. There was something about the first 10 minutes. We looked on edge. It wasn't like we were going to get beat 2-0 in the first 10 minutes or anything like that, but it just didn't look right. I need to move my microphone. Sorry if that was noisy. It's really important to start games strongly, and that's something we just haven't been doing this season. We have only been winning a game at half-time once this season, and today we made that 2 times as we went in at half-time 1-0 up. But it could have easily been a very different first half, so relieved that we made it to half-time without conceding. And some second-half substitutions from Emery really worked well. I thought Torreira coming on obviously helped us out defensively. We looked a little bit more solid, although he was at fault for their goal. Let's be honest. He did lose the ball. He got completely demolished by Seri in midfield. And that's one thing about Torreira that I don't think he'll ever be able to avoid, because he's quite a small guy. He's only 5'5" or whatever. He's not exactly the strongest guy. He's strong for his size, but he's gonna get bowled over by players, and even players like Seri. He's not exactly big, but if he gets the jump on him, if he gets a lot of his weight behind Torreira, he's going to go down, and that's definitely one of the negatives of Torreira playing as a DM, and that's the fact that he will get physically beaten quite a lot. But there are times where we've seen he's incredibly strong for his size, and he can hold off quite a lot of bigger players. But today it wasn't to be. That moment where he got bowled over, and then we conceded from it. And to be fair, it's not just his fault. Defensively, it was very poor. Could have marked the goal scorer. I can't remember his name. Was it Kamara? I'm not sure. Could have marked him up a little bit better. But I felt throughout the whole game that Koscielny was just a mistake waiting to happen. He's just not the same player since that injury. I'm hoping he can recover that form a little bit, but I just don't feel confident in him. We took Mustafi off at the break, so we went from 3 at the back to 4 at the back. I thought Socrates had a much better game today, commanding, getting those tackles in, and going forward, we didn't have any issues, did we? Especially in that second half. To score 4 goals at home isn't anything special, but it's good. It's an achievement. It's good that we've scored 4 goals against a difficult side that wanted to get men behind the ball. Every time you get promoted sides going to the big stadiums like the Emirates or Old Trafford or whatever, they will sit behind the ball and they will try and hit you on the break. So, yeah, 4-1 is a very good result for us. A little bit flattering. So, one thing I want to talk about as well is Lacazette. Now, Lacazette hasn't been getting 90 minutes recently, and I just don't understand why. Again, taken off today. Thankfully, he started, so let's get this out of the way. That's one of the issues as well. Lacazette just isn't starting enough games for me. Clearly, with him and Aubameyang up front, whether they're playing one behind the other, 2 next to each other, they play better together. There's no denying it. You know, if we're not going to be playing Ozil, if he's injured or whatever it is that's going on there, put Lacazette in that position maybe. Just sitting behind Aubameyang, because he plays so well with Aubameyang. They've got a real bromance going. They have a connection. They know where each other are going to be. And they play so well together. They really complement each other. And I'm just fed up with seeing Lacazette get taken off. I get leaving Aubameyang on the pitch, and therefore if we're already winning and we want to go a bit more defensive, then of course you take a striker off, and that would have to be Lacazette. But there must be a way that we can do what we want to do, or what Emery wants to do. You know, go a bit more defensive, a bit more solid, whilst still leaving Lacazette and Aubameyang on the pitch. Even if it means playing Aubameyang out on the left wing, which I think he can do very well. So this is something that I'm really hoping that Emery nails down at some point soon. Maybe he needs the transfer window, which is open as of today, of course. Maybe he needs to bring someone else in so he can leave Lacazette in. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what more Lacazette can do. He's scoring goals, he's getting assists, He's playing a big part in a lot of the chances that we make. He's a vital player for us. So you play him and don't take him off unless you absolutely have to. But we don't know what's going on in Emery's head there. I think it's quite obvious that he feels like we don't need 2 strikers at that part of the game. But I would have liked to see Aubameyang come off there and actually give Lacazette the rest of the game. Although Aubameyang did go ahead and score, got his 14th goal. So that's 14 goals for our number 14, which is obviously very cool. I thought Iwobi had a very decent game, although he seems to get himself in really good positions where he can play a pass, get a shot away. But that final product, that final moment of his play is lacking a lot of the time. So that's definitely something he needs to work on. But he is such a better player since this year. And, well, last year, technically. I still can't believe it's 2019. Happy New Year, by the way. It's clear to me that Iwobi is a better player. But there's the final product that we really need to see from him. Really reminds me of Walcott over the years. You know, there was always the great run, a decent first touch to get him into a good position. Although Theo Walcott didn't have the greatest of first touch, I think we can all agree. But he was able to get in the right positions. That's how Theo Walcott did do so well for Arsenal, despite not being that great of a player, if you ask me. He was just more of an athlete. Now, Iwobi is stronger than Walcott ever was. He's definitely stronger on the ball. He's a bit more of a headless chicken in terms of just looking a bit frantic. He's not really sure what to do sometimes, I think. But he does do very well at getting past a player, pulling off a few tricks, you know, a nice little body feint here and getting around the defender. He's not the quickest ever, but he's good enough to do that. But then there's nothing half the time. He either misplaces the pass or a shot goes wide or whatever it may be. He just has to improve that final moment and he will be a fantastic player for us. So really keen to see how Iwobi develops. And it's quite clear that maybe we are lacking a winger still, even though I think we should prioritise a defender in the January transfer window. Let's talk about the window really quick because I saw a report come out from Ornstein yesterday that Arsenal just don't have the money right now to make a big signing. And if anything is going to happen this January in terms of a big player joining, it's going to be a loan. So I don't know if we're ever going to be able to loan in a centre-back of the quality we want. I can't think of any centre-backs right now of that quality that would potentially want to come on loan to Arsenal. It doesn't really make sense to me, that. So I've not got much hopes for this January to get a top-class centre-back, even though I know, you know, it's quite clear that we all know we need to get one. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think if anything, we're going to get ourselves a winger, and maybe it would be an Ousmane Dembele on loan, but the odds of that happening are so slim. You know, he's doing well for Barcelona this season. He's been getting his goals and doing pretty well. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen this January, but I think, unfortunately, as we've done for many seasons now as Arsenal fans, just don't expect anything, and then who knows, maybe you'll be surprised, because January's not an easy transfer window to get what you really want. It's often a panic buy or just, like I was saying, a loan just to keep you going until the end of the season. But I think what we're seeing now at Arsenal is a few of the players coming back from injury. I know Bellerin's close, Monreal's close to coming back. Mavropanos seems to get injured. Well, you know, he's been injured for a long time now, and his time to come back seems to get delayed every single time. And, you know, Mavropanos isn't exactly what we need right now, let's be fair. So I think Emery sees the fact that we do have our players coming back, that, you know, Mustafi's back, although he didn't look great today, and Koscielny's back, even though he hasn't looked great. To him, we have centre-backs available, so maybe it's not such a big deal. But as fans of the club, people that pay money to go and see Arsenal every week, we don't want to be seeing what happened at Liverpool again this season, because we've got now the chance. We've got 30 days plus to bring in a centre-back that's going to help this team achieve the top 4. So no excuses, really. We have got money. Arsenal, they're a very successful business as a club as well, very successful bringing in money. Maybe it's not going to be 40 million plus, but I would just like to see something. That's all I ask, just something. Even if it's loaning money, okay, go to a bank if you absolutely need to and just buy a player now, because I think if we don't, we could really regret it when it comes to May and we're 6 points off top 4, something like that. We need Champions League football to really bring in the big bucks again. It's clearly a reason that we're struggling a little bit more in the windows. We don't have the pull anymore as well. You know, you've got to remember, for a player to want to join a club, they should be in the Champions League. They should be fighting for silverware in their own countries. You know, it's very important that the club has that stature, that we've got the Champions League, come and join us. So I think it is just absolutely vital that we get Champions League this season for next year. And I don't think we'll get it unless we sign someone in this window, or at least it's going to make it very, very difficult. Quick word on Fulham. Obviously, they've got Ranieri in. Or Ranieri in. Is it Ranieri? Oh, that's going to really annoy me. I'm pretty sure it's Ranieri, but he's going to do a fantastic job for Fulham. It might take a few more weeks for him to really gel and get an idea of what he wants to do there with his current players, and he's going to need this window to maybe bring 1 or 2 new faces in. But you've got Ranieri, man. He won the league with Leicester. I think Fulham will be okay. It's going to be really tight for them. I thought today they looked pretty decent, actually. To come to the Emirates, where, you know, we don't really drop points very often at all, they gave themselves a good go, and it was potentially a little bit unlucky for them to lose 4-1. It was a bit flattering for us. So I think Fulham fans shouldn't be too worried just yet, but of course, we're over the halfway point now, and you're still down there. So I would like to see Fulham stay. I really would. So hopefully they can pull themselves out of the relegation zone. But I think they can do it. They've definitely got the team to do it. So thank you for watching this review, guys. A massive thank you for an amazing 2018. And hopefully 2019 is going to be just as good. Happy New Year to all of you. And I will see you in the next video soon.